Right now, the Madison School District makes busing changes following the death of a high school student. The latest on the crash investigation as the driver is officially charged.
From wildfire chances and gusty winds to accumulating snow in our forecast, we're tracking the next weather system and the potential for alert day conditions.
And later, several school districts in south central Wisconsin are asking for funding relief as they deal with the impact of increased property taxes. That is all coming up on News 3 now at 6. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. The driver accused of killing a 17-year-old Madison High School student has been officially charged. According to online records, Kathleen Borgwart is charged with second-degree reckless homicide. She was booked into the Dane County Jail on Monday after hitting Sasha Rosen on South Park Street February 5th. Borgwart was given a $5,000 bond. According to the criminal complaint, police believe Borgwart was driving at 62 miles per hour at the time of the crash, and the speed limit there is 25. Various witnesses say Borgwart had also been weaving in and out of traffic and changing lanes. Review of video evidence found that pedestrian warning lights were active and functioning when Rosen was crossing the street in that crosswalk. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office ruled Sasha's cause of death as blunt force trauma and that the manner of death was declared an accident. Borgwart is scheduled to appear in court March 30th. And while Rosen's family continues to grieve, the Madison School District is working to prevent this from happening again. They're changing the bus routes for students, including the one on South Park Street where Rosen died. Our Tanisha Shaw has more.
Park Street has become a behavior problem, right? It's a high-speed zone. There's a lot more traffic.
Scott Shehack is the executive director of building services for the Madison School District. He told me that tragedy is prompting change.
We have added 3 additional bus stops from South Beltline all the way to West Washington Avenue, east of Park Street. So we are now transporting 20 additional middle school students that were walking across Park Street to James C. Wright Middle School.
Now elementary and middle school students that attend school here in Madison will not have to cross South Park Street to get to school.
Some of them were walking, some of them were not, but we are making sure they now have transportation to and from school.
This stretch of South Park Street is now an unusually hazardous transportation location for Madison schools, impacting bus routes for roughly 20 students. This change comes after police say 51-year-old Kathleen Borgwart hit and killed 17-year-old Alexander Rosen with a car near Burr Oak and South Park Street.
We all kind of woke our eyes up that morning into a tragic event, and it's something we can't take back, right? But there are things that we can do to keep monitoring and looking.
Rosen was on his way to West High School. Madison High School students take the Metro bus to and from school. Any changes with those routes would have to go through the city of Madison.
So we work closely with the city of Madison Traffic Engineering and MPD on a biweekly basis and sometimes daily basis to really identify hazards and behavioral changes that maybe MPD can help with.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
And the Transportation Commission meeting is happening right now. The safety of South Park Street is on the agenda, and Tanisha will bring you an update tonight on News 3 Now at 10. And now to an update on a poisoning plot story that spanned across multi-counties. The Madison couple accused in this plot are scheduled to go on trial next year. Online court records show that Paul Van Dyne and Andrea Whitaker's trial in Rock County will begin March 29th, 2027. The trial is scheduled to last a full month. The pair are also charged in Dane County, but we don't have the trial dates for that yet. Among the charges, attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Prosecutors say the couple used various chemicals to try to kill women Van Dyne had previously dated. A Rock County woman was hospitalized for 38 days after multiple alleged poisoning attempts. Prosecutors allege Van Dyne tried to poison other women as well by breaking into their vehicles at the Middleton Costco and adding chemicals to their water bottles. In Middleton, a student is in custody tonight for bringing a weapon to the high school today. The Middleton Cross Plains School District says that the student had an airsoft pistol with him on campus. School resources officers responded immediately and took the student into custody. There was no active threat to the high school or community. Charges of disorderly conduct, dangerous weapon on school premises, and resisting an officer are all being referred to the Dane County District Attorney's Office. Madison police are investigating after an apartment building and vehicle were hit by gunfire. Just before 2 o'clock this morning, officers were sent to Northport Drive for several reports of gunshots. Police found shell casings and a damaged vehicle and a building in the area. Surveillance video shows one person possibly being shot, but so far no one has shown up to a hospital with any gunshot injuries. Also in the news, a Beloit woman is in custody tonight after allegedly abusing a person with a disability. Toyo Perez was initially arrested back on January 23rd for one count of abuse of vulnerable adults. Then, after interviewing Perez and reviewing video evidence, the Rock County Sheriff's Office arrested Perez for additional abuse charges today. She will be in court tomorrow afternoon. Well, very breezy today. Fire danger has been high but went away. And now we're talking about rain and snow, Alex, all over the place with the weather today.
I know, this whole week, record warm, thunderstorms, fire potential, windy conditions, and we're continuing to eye up the potential for alert day conditions Thursday overnight going on into Friday morning. I mentioned this last night, still looks like it is in the weather forecasting cards here. Several inches of wet snow are possible, and areas north and west of Madison stand the best chance for seeing this band of heavy wet snow to develop. This is where we're thinking right now, the First Warn Weather Team, that heavy wet snow band between La Crosse and Madison, very likely in the middle, Prairie du Chien up towards Richland Center, up towards Wisconsin Dells, standing the better chance of seeing this very narrow band. But I want to be abundantly clear with these February and sometimes March snow events. There's a lot of water in them, and those bands can be incredibly narrow with very sharp cutoffs on either side of it. So we're keeping a very close tab on the track of that weather system, which is absolutely key to where that heavy wet snow band will set up Thursday night going on into Friday. Lows tonight in the 20s, right around 30. Highs on Thursday help tell the weather story a bit. Only around 40 to the north and west towards Camp Douglas, to around 50 in Madison, to around 50 in Janesville, with rain and a few thunderstorms developing. And then that all changes over to that heavy wet snow. When I come back in just a few minutes, we will track that heavy wet snow band and how strong those winds, they're coming back, will be as we head into that Friday morning commute.
All right, busy day. Thank you, Alex. In other news, across the state, families continue to feel the weight of increased property taxes. Schools are also feeling that same pressure and are asking for help. Our Nash Dara spoke to district leaders of one county in need of funding relief.
Sarah, 6 districts in Sauk County, along with dozens of other schools in Wisconsin, are asking for a funding compromise as the state's $4 billion surplus added $0 to K-12 public schools. The amount of money a school is rewarded by the state is based off of the equalized valuation of the district. The richer your area is on paper, the less money you receive in school funding.
Anytime that school spending goes up or the cost of education goes up and the state doesn't contribute to that, the only way that the amount that the school district can spend increases is through local property taxes. And it's become unsustainable.
Valuations for schools were based off of a formula Wisconsin put in place decades ago, a formula that has had little to no change, now causing districts to make drastic decisions on program and salary spending.
There just isn't anything left to cut. We've cut over $1 million in our budget of actual spending over the past year. Most districts have had to kick building maintenance down the road, including our own. And we know that that's not good, that's not fiscally sound, but we cannot continue to cut any more people. We are bare bones right now.
Burkhalter also shared the revenue limit in which Reedsburg can spend per student is $11,000, where another district in the state can spend over $30,000, a gap that he says is unacceptable. I also spoke to Wisconsin Dells District Administrator Terry Slack, who believes the solution of increased property taxes and a state surplus go hand in hand.
Property tax owners got a higher than anticipated increase this year by virtue of kind of how the state budget worked, which has kind of brought the issue to the forefront. At the same time, the state has a record surplus. I really think there's a commonality that we can find property tax relief and provide some more general aids to the schools, which would benefit all.
Sarah, the Reedsburg superintendent, also shared around 30 years ago, 60% of school budget would be spent on people in the building, such as salaries and benefits. Tom Burkhalter says the next year that number will be pressed up to 81%.
Okay, Nash, thank you so much. In other news, an Edgerton Animal Rescue is asking for help after several puppies in its care were hospitalized with a severe contagious virus. Brown Paws Rescue says 5 puppies were diagnosed with canine parvovirus. It's a virus that attacks white blood cells in dogs' gastrointestinal tracts. 3 puppies have been released while another is still under veterinary care. Sadly, the 5th puppy died. So now the rescue is asking for the community to help, asking for donations to help pay more than $25,000 in care expenses. If you would like to help donate, you can do that directly or through PayPal, Venmo, or the rescue's website. And you can find all of those links on channel3000.com. Coming up next, how you will be able to honor a veteran for their service later this month. Plus, it's National Future Farmers of America Week. We'll tell you how the organization is still helping students 97 years later. Stay.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
Welcome back, everyone. News 3 Now and Vortex Optics are looking to recognize a local veteran who is going above and beyond in service to others. From February 23rd, coming up soon, through March 22nd, we will be accepting nominations for local veterans making a positive impact in their communities. Then, from March 30th through April 12th, you'll be able to vote on those candidates. The winner will be announced on April 15th. Right now, Future Farmers of America chapters here and across the country are preparing to celebrate National FFA Week. FFA is a youth organization that prepares members for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education. National FFA Week runs from February 21st to the 28th, and today we heard from 2 Wisconsin state officers on how the organization has helped them.
I could not have a conversation. I could not speak to anyone, and being able to do those personal leaderships and career success opportunities and LDEs, which are leadership development events, I was able to find my voice in agriculture and have a passion and share what I'm very passionate about.
The people that I've met have really changed my life and offered so many different opportunities, whether it's careers or different people that I've talked to. It's really important, and it's also really strengthened my agriculture advocacy.
Really well spoken, too. Well done. February 26th is also Give FFA Day. It's an opportunity to support these students nationwide. The contributions can be made to giveffaday.ffa.org to help students continue their leadership development and gain real-world agricultural experience. Still ahead, a federal judge had to rule on a lawsuit about chicken wings. It's true. Plus, the Dane County Regional Airport releases a study on their economic impact on the area. And the First Warn Weather Team has been tracking another weather system. Alex returns with all the details when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
Well, you're taking a live look from our Skycam in Platteville. It's actually a beautiful, looks like you're just still seeing the sunset. Where rain, thunder, wet snow, everything on the way. Our weather team has been busy. Alex, who stands the best chance of getting snow?
Areas north and west of Madison stand the best chance of seeing snow, Sarah, which we've been tracking this system for 10 days, and it hasn't changed the timing. This would be Thursday overnight going on into Friday morning with several inches of wet snow, quite likely. Areas Madison towards the north and towards the west again stand the best chance of seeing this band of wet, slushy, heavy snow. Our weather system that brought all the wind and the fire danger to southern Wisconsin today also was producing some snow and some mixed precipitation across parts of northern Wisconsin. That wider look shows that this weather system is not just for southern Wisconsin. It will impact much of the upper Midwest as it moves up from the south and from the west. And because it's coming from the south and from the west, that means there's plenty of moisture to go along with it, with that rain mixing with and then changing over to snow for a good portion of the state of Wisconsin, with the best chance eyeing up Madison areas to the north and towards the west, with that potential for some heavy wet snow accumulation. A little bit closer to home here, there's those scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms as we head towards 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Look in southwest Wisconsin, changing over to snow, wet, heavy snow as we head towards the midnight hour, making it to Madison, Dells, Lone Rock, Mineral Point, Platteville. That band of snow then continues to spread towards the east as we head towards 6 o'clock in the morning, from the Dells to Madison to Janesville to Juneau to Watertown. And with weather systems in February and March, You probably already know this, but they can hold some decent amount of water. When you squeeze that water out, the amounts of snow and or rain or thunderstorms can come down at a pretty heavy pace, but it also means that the band of heavy snow in this case is going to be a very sharp cutoff. So I want to be very clear that there will be some areas that will see a couple of inches of heavy wet snow, and you might just go a few miles down the road and there's very little in the way of snow accumulation. Right now, the best chance for where that band is going to set up, and it could only be a county or two wide, is going to be between La Crosse and Madison. And that pinpoint, I'll say Prairie du Chien to Richland Center to Wisconsin Dells, as I mentioned last night, looks like right now is the target for the potential for that heaviest band of snow. But that could shift north or south very, very quickly over the next 12 to 24 hours as this storm gets its act together. Windy conditions going into Friday morning. That commute anywhere where there is falling snow, there will be some reduced visibilities from the wind, but it'll be that wet variety, so not expecting any blowing or drifting of that snow. Tonight, temperatures in the 20s to right around 30, some low 20s, not out of the question in the Wisconsin River Valley. Highs around 40 up towards Juneau and Adams counties, near 50 in Madison, the low 50s to the south in Illinois, where they have the better chance for seeing a couple of thunderstorms. Today, it was a breezy one, and that wind will return. The fire danger is definitely lessening now as those winds ease on up after a windy day with dry fuels, a lot of dry vegetation, making for a prime environment for fire danger in southern Wisconsin. But that danger is going down in the area now. But then we turn our attention to that weather maker Thursday night going into Friday. Very likely could be looking at alert day conditions for at least a period of time Thursday night going into Friday morning. And heads up as we head out into next week. Temperatures at or just a couple of degrees above normal, but not seeing any big weather systems at this point next week.
Thank you, Alex. A newly released study says the Dane County Regional Airport generated nearly $2.6 billion in economic impact in 2024. The study, conducted by Tourism Economics, examined impacts across Dane County and 7 neighboring counties, highlighting the airport's role in the health and growth of the regional economy. It also found the airport supported more than 10,000 jobs across the region that year.
This airport is not just a place where planes take off and land, but it is a thriving center of our community that strengthens and supports our local economy. It supports paychecks for families. It attracts businesses to our region. It helps local businesses grow and compete, and it connects our communities to opportunities.
Airport operations and tenants accounted for more than 92% of the direct impact, while visitor spending contributed more than $128 million in spending outside of the airport. So the next big question, the big question of the day, can a restaurant call boneless wings wings? A federal judge says the answer is yes. Someone took this to court. The judge threw out a lawsuit challenging the Buffalo Wild Wings menu, saying it had, quote, no meat on its bones. It was an Illinois man who took this to court, claiming he thought they were deboned chicken wings. So the judge says most people understand the products are made of chicken breast. The restaurant then also pointed out there's no ham in the hamburger or buffalo in the wings. People pretty much understand what they're eating. I imagine you do too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all know what we're getting.
I'd say they're wings. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it to them. Yeah.
Either way, someone spent money on that. Sports more important at this moment.
Yeah, you could say so, but I think the wings debate is interesting. Still to come in sports, an update on all things Antetokounmpo. We talk Giannis's health and his commitment to the Bucks. Next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS.
Yet another trade deadline has come and gone, and the good news is Giannis is still a Milwaukee Buck. But it is the All-Star break, so there's no better time to check in on everything Antetokounmpo. Let's start with that nagging calf injury. He last played in a game nearly a month ago. He was an NBA All-Star, but didn't play in that game either. He did, however, give a promising update over the All-Star break on how he's feeling after missing 19 of his team's last 38 games.
I feel good. I feel 100%, to be honest with you. I just gotta, like, when you come back from an injury and you go through the rehab, you gotta, like, check the boxes, right? So I gotta do things. So once I check all those boxes, I'm ready to go. I feel like I can play a game today.
Well, now that we have the injury stuff out of the way, what about his commitment to Milwaukee? Well, his Bucks did win 5 of 6 heading into the break, which doesn't hurt, but it's really deeper than all of that. Giannis says despite the media, he may, and those media people, he never really changed his tune on his plans for the future, saying that he remains faithful in all aspects of his life.
At the end of the day, you got to go back home to one wife, to one person. So, and you got to commit to that. So as a basketball player, there will never be a situation or a moment of time that I won't commit to my teammates, to my coaches, and to the front office that have believed me, and to the fans that have believed me for 13 years. So right now, as of today, I'm a Milwaukee Buck, and I'm committed to that.
Well, believe it or not, the hockey season is heading down the home stretch. The Wisconsin women remain the nation's top-ranked team with reinforcements on the way. But the men, who were once ranked number 2 in the country, have struggled, losing 7 of their last 10. But as you'll learn on this week's Wisconsin Huddle, they haven't lost their confidence.
And how good can this team be down this final stretch? Is that even what you guys are thinking about right now?
Absolutely. It's hard not to look ahead, but ultimately, we get the chance to play a really good team this weekend, and we feel like we can be any team in the country on any given night. So, yeah, I think there's just a lot of excitement and a lot of courage and confidence that can be brought from that.
All right, thank you, Andrew, and thanks for watching News 3 Now at 6, everyone. Entertainment Tonight is up next, and we hope you'll come back and join us for News 3 Now at 10.